Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Voice of Crypto. And today we have with us a really special guest. We have Naama O Pozniak with us. She's the CEO and founder of Paz Holdings. Naama is a mother, she's a yogi, she's a primordial sound meditation coach, she's an NFT artist, collector, investor. She's also an author who's contributed in over 3 books. She's currently writing another book that is set to publish this year, if I'm not wrong, Naama. She is also the founder of Right Plan. She's into the healthcare and insurance industry, but she's also in the blockchain and Web3 space. And there's a lot to talk about and there's a lot to say. But before that, I welcome you, Naama, here today at our podcast episode. And we're really excited to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor.
Yeah, it's the pleasure is ours, to be honest. And before we start, I would love for you to introduce yourself, tell our viewers what you're doing currently and how, what projects you're involved with, apart from the projects and the professional aspect. What else are you doing currently?
So first of all, thank you. I know, it's a mutual love that we developed. I really appreciate being here. So actually, my name, it has the namaste. So it's actually the way you pronounce it is Naama. And Naama, it's from the Bible.
Naama.
Naama. And it's a Hebrew name that means the pleasant one. The pleasant one. So it's like, but namaste is like, it's then when we bless each other and the divine, we see the divine in each other.
Wow.
So I've been you couldn't introduce me better. I mean, it's definitely I run a team of amazing people. I'm nothing without my team, by the way. It's funny because people are looking at me and say, oh, you are doing this and that. I mean, I'm nothing without my team. So I owe it, first of all, for my team for over 30 years that I have really, really amazing people helping me, servicing the community. So we are a one-stop shop for health insurance. We deal with all level of care as far as the delivering the health insurance system in the United States. And we are a storefront for covered California, helping people getting subsidy, getting access to care, trying to make sense out of it. The health insurance industry, the healthcare industry in the United States, I mean, I don't think it's actually broken is a word that can describe how deeply injured is the system. How, it's just so difficult in every angle. So it's difficult for the providers, it's difficult for the insurance industry, insurance companies, and it's super difficult on the average, person, especially if you are middle class. If you are middle class, you feel like you're stuck in the middle because you are not eligible for help with the government and you are paying these. I mean, it's insane. In India, we can feed the whole village and what we are paying monthly for health insurance, like an average family of 5 people, couple 40 years old, 3 kids, paying $3,000 a year, a year. I wanted to say $3,000 a month, and with $18,000 out of pocket yearly a year. So, so doing this for so long and being the bearer of bad news over and over again, I felt like something is wrong, something is wrong, something is wrong. And I was on my own personal journey, traveling to India, meditating, was introduced to this world of yoga, Ayurveda, and absolutely the Eastern medicine that can really help us. While, we became so Western, And again, the cost doesn't make sense. We are not actually healing. We are delivering sick care, not healthcare. So
absolutely, so true.
Being in this process and learning so much about myself and practicing myself, it was so clear to me that we're doing something wrong. And not only that we're doing something wrong, we are damaging ourselves. We are damaging our generation to come. We are damaging, we are angrier. We are the mental health.
More stressed,
definitely. And I know in India it's the same, and it's just on levels that I think the pandemic actually quickened everything, but it's just really doesn't make sense anymore. And especially us for women. And I'm saying especially us for women, men are very stressful on different levels. But I sometimes feel like we have their stress plus because plus.
Absolutely. And the societies, definitely.
And we need to be pretty and beautiful and,
the stress, it's never ending.
No, they wake up in the morning, most of them, and like, look, and then like they're ready, we need to dress up, we need to put the makeup or not, even if you're not putting makeup, I'm not such a big
gotta
makeup
be ready for
person.
the world. Yeah.
Right. So I felt all these years that we need to do something. We need to do something. We need to do something. Also, by the way, on my trips to India, when I meet a lot of Indians, and I have my one of big chosen family is my Indian family, and I have family in every, I was just talking to a friend yesterday, and I said, I'm planning a trip, and they said, you have to come to Delhi. There is a wedding on March 9. You have to be participating. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I feel like I do have, I felt that the tradition of the ancestors of the Indian roots also forgotten. So what I felt is that here in the Western medicine and the Eastern medicine, we both forgot, and we just need to remember and to be reminded. So I started implementing the Eastern medicine into the US healthcare.
Wow.
It's felt very lonely for many, many years. But then in 2013, I connected with Dr. Deepak Chopra and really started on a journey with him behind the scene, but helping and learning about the study and the statistic and the science, because in the healthcare industry, in the tech industry, in every industry, it's about the science, about the numbers. It's about, you have to be very accurate. And there was no study. And in 2013, started the studies in Harvard University, in Mount Sinai in New York, the combination of San Diego University and the Chopra Center started a very deep and meaningful research about meditation and yoga, and what can it do to our health, and how can we heal ourselves. So, it took it to a different level. But again, it took many years and still, right now it's really great because I am very fortunate to be opening a lot of events in the United States for conferences in meditation. Leading in 2017, I went through the training and did a heavy training for meditation as a teacher and a coach. So I lead meditation. When I come, it's sometimes in the middle of meetings, people say, oh, can you lead us for a few minutes? And I'm like, so it started to be, people recognize that it is making a difference, either experiencing it in a event, in a conference, or just in a board meeting when we are like 12 people or 5 people or 10 people. So when quarantine for me was actually, I flew home from India, February 2020. I was there for 2 weeks, 9 days in a Ayurvedic panchakarma treatment, and took the time to really deep in, which I think that, again, even the Indian forgot that they have that. You guys have so many centered and so many, and you can just, if you get a oily body work abhyanga, which like, you can definitely deal with life in a different way, so it's the physical level, it's the emotional level, and it's the mental, it's the psychologically, we have to take care of ourselves at all time. We can't wait to be diagnosed and say, oh, okay, now I need to start taking care of myself. Oh, I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm going to start moving. I will do, I will, it's just, you can't do that. And it's very hard to us all to understand, especially in the Western society, because, the food is so artificial and so industrial, and there is there's no so much plant-based options. I'm not talking about LA. We are in Los Angeles, we are very lucky, but when I travel in the United States, when I speak all over. So what happened is that I've been speaking before the pandemic, I've been leading meditation and speaking, and become like a voice for a lot of women, because I think that it's not that we don't have a voice. I think that we are now having, we have vocalized ourselves a little bit more than ever. But I think that we are still in the process of finding the confidence and the trust that we need.
Definitely.
So I am, during the pandemic, I was leading a lot of meditation, like daily meditations, and being involved in a lot of organization and consulting, and became a mindful officer for several organizations. So I consult companies, and started, of course, with my own business for many years, doing it to our own clients, the employers that actually our clients. So implementing meditation, yoga into their industries. There's so many industries, because we deal with so many industries. So we deal with the tech industry, and we deal with the law industry and the manufacturing. So we have all size clients, or with all kinds of I would say almost like, it's a different communities in every employers.
Got it.
Different people, the language barrier, the social backgrounds, I think, which is very important to healthcare and health insurance. So when and I was, by the way, I was super against Bitcoin because of the consciousness of the mining and the waste that I saw. And when I was reading about that, and it was really like, this is not for me. This is not for me. But when in 2021, in January 21, I think it was February, actually. I joined Clubhouse in 2021, but the conversation about
that
the
was
NFT,
really in Clubhouse was the thing when pandemic started.
Yes. So exactly. So when I actually started learning about the non-fungible token, and the possibility of the artist becoming the leaders in this upcoming generation, I was like, it made so much sense to me, because, personally, I was born an artist. I'm an artist, and everything I do, by the way, I do very artistically. So, even delivering the United States health insurance, I do it artistically, because I don't know
Yeah.
to do it differently. You know, I don't know how to actually do it in a different way. I'm just being, and sometimes, you know, when I first came to one of our employers, 150 employees in the digital media industry, like 15 years ago, and I said, and he said, you know, I have issues here. This department, you know, I mean, they don't get along. I said, let's implement meditation. Let's implement.
Wow.
He was looking at me. It's like, you lost it. You totally lost. I love you, but you totally lost it. So what is happening right now? So I became really adapted to, and it was tough. It was tough because I mean, I had no, you know, we were all separated. So it was really tough to get involved. But I stopped painting in 2009, around 2009, because I never wanted to sell my art. You know, I didn't have a desire to sell my art. I didn't want to share it. I mean, unless you come to my house, and you actually, you know, have dinner and here, you know, Shabbat dinner, you wouldn't know I'm an artist. I would never say I'm an artist. Although, again, every time wherever I go, people are like, where did you buy this shirt? Where the shoes? You know, I'm like, okay. I don't mostly buy brand. I almost never buy brand. I buy what I like and what I love, and I am very specific. And I have, if you walk into my closet, you know, I have the same clothes for 20, 30 years. Yeah, I'm the same weight, but also it's the style, you know. So I actually have vintage closet. You know, I mean, I walk into my clothes and I'm like, oh, okay, this I wore like 20 years ago. I can wear it now, you know. I mean,
yeah, no one would remember.
Right, exactly, you know. So I really think that what my biggest passion right now is to move the and I studied about the Web2 and the Web3. You know, I've been active member and leader in Web2 for many years. You know, and also it took me years to relate to, I'm a leader. What am I doing? I'm just a mother of 2 kids and running my agency. So I wasn't actually, you know, some people say, I'm doing this and I'm that and I'm that, you know, I wasn't that person. I was like, I was doing my thing, you know? So it took me years to actually connect. And then when the NFT conversation and the blockchain, and I studied about the blockchain, I was listening to thousands of podcasts. I've been in so many rooms on Clubhouse and now on Twitter and involved and learning about the opportunity and what can it create and the ecosystem that can be built on this technology is brilliant. That's why I only want to talk about the technology because I don't want to talk. Yes, crypto is one aspect of the whole economy because I really feel that we need to have a way to be able to pay for our goods and services and access to everything we have and the information in a different way and in a way that we can trust the system and we can actually have the information that's not going to manipulate us. So, you know, I mean, and it's very important because that's what Web 2 is all about. Web 2 is SEO and how can a company can create more traffic and how can, you know, and they are basically companies are getting stronger and stronger while people are getting weaker and weaker. Definitely. So I see the technology now and I'm involved. So I've been, for me, it's definitely about the artist. So I am empowering a lot of artists behind the scene. I became really involved in the community, you know. It's been like an amazing. I have a new family in the last couple of years that develop connection that are beyond amazing. I'm still learning. We're all still learning. I think it's very new.
Sure.
And there is a lot of resistance because of all the scams. And again,
Definitely.
especially for women,
Yeah.
And I sit with you today, not as someone that made money in crypto or in the NFT space. In the NFT space, I only donated. Anything I did so far, you know, it brought me back to my painting. I'm painting again. I'm creating again, like physically also, and collaborating with artists. But so and I love it. It was something that it's almost like you are belonging to something and you didn't even know what's missing. And this was missing in my life that I now have it. And so I currently only gave back, like donated, because also a big part of my life, the way I raised, but in the way I also sharing wealth, I would say, is giving at least 10%, 10% from the income every year, my income on behalf of my family and my team. So it's all about where am I donating and where am I helping other people. So I feel that the blockchain can take it to the next level of authenticity, and we can see where the money is going. Like we helped, I was involved in a project for Ukraine, I mean, it's or just lately, like I think it was November was empowering women wealth, so we all did an NFT and we donated on a platform for helping women, empowering women to, again, I don't think it's the voice so much, it's just the courage, it's just the confidence, it's just the trust. First of all, we need to build a new trust between the feminine and the masculine energy, so I think that this is hopefully will be more present in the next few years. I now very passionate, so I'm really speaking a lot about moving Web 2 to Web 3 and what is the possibility of everything, but especially for social media, for companies that don't understand that you don't have to go all in or all out. You can add a component, you can add a concept of Web3 and the blockchain to work you already do to escalate and elevate the information. I think that Web3 is like, and the blockchain is missing the love and the spirit a little bit. And it's on so many levels. It's all about, okay, what's the market? How is the market? What's the, how much, what's this coin, this. But, it's also, we need to understand that scammers and scams and people and fraud is everywhere. And I know already with my conversation with the security industry, and I mean, they are working on securing the web in a way, the Web3 that will have to grow trust. But yesterday, a very very close friend of mine in the space, Crypto Novo got hacked. All
his Bitcoin went away, right?
All his actually his punk that nobody can actually will be able to sell it because he is his punk. He became his punk. You never even seen his face. You don't even know how he looks like, any event, he just, so I'm looking and I'm saying, what? How is it possible? I got hacked many times, hacked on a hack,
Oh, you have been.
Oh, yeah. Phishing from my MetaMask. And so, yes, it's not perfect. But I think that we're now developing something that it's very important. And whoever you listen in the industry right now is very important. And this is why when Rug Radio which is
Yeah.
this decentralizing media that I
Yeah.
trust so much. I trust the Rag Radio. There are a few other media platforms which are great, and I think that
Yeah.
in the end of the day, all of us will work. We are already working
Yeah.
together. You know, I mean, because that's how the media should be.
That
You know,
is
it's
how
not
media should be.
me. That's what I do.
Absolutely.
But I trust the leadership in Rag Radio, and I was involved in the governance of the building the first DAO.
Yeah.
And I do strongly believe in DAO because I see DAO as a unseparate extension to what we used to call a board, you know.
Right.
And I've been sitting, I'm servicing on a board for like over 15 years on the national level, for the association in the health insurance industry, and on the local board in Los Angeles. So I know what it takes to run the board, but I think that the council and especially the DAO Council, and this is why I was running for the DAO Council, because I feel like right now it's also a lot of people that make a lot of noise, and there were less people that were actually being experienced in building businesses and, you know, running businesses or actually dealing with teams and leadership. So I think that what I see the evolution of Rag Radio is really as the leadership, and that's why I'm very involved and in all the events and all the, and I will continue being involved, because I mean, I think that they will be the bridge. There will be a very positive bridge between Web2 and Web3, and the ability to develop platforms that can help. So so I'm doing that as well. It takes time, you know, even as a listener, you know, you need to listen, but you need to be involved, and need to be engaged. And we, you know, we are now building some programs that will reward people who listen, and people that participate, and people that to make sense out of it. And I think that's it's been again, the people that coming together are super. I trust them so much, and I met them, and you know, I mean, it's great, and the women that involved in Rag Radio are incredible.
So how did you come across Rag Radio, and when did this happen?
So Rag Radio, it's interesting because I mean, you know, the current CEO of Rag Radio is I don't even know if he's the CEO, but he's the main leader is of course Farouk. And I got connected to Farouk on Clubhouse, and learned to trust him, you know, in the back end. So it wasn't like, okay, I know him, I met him, you know how you meet people and you start building a relationship. But it was a lot of listening and almost knowing that I just love him. I just love the man. I love his heart, you know. And I think that a lot of people, again, missing the heart. Although, you know, by the way, people are trying to say different things about him on many occasions, and it's really upsetting me. And I tell you why. Because nobody's perfect. And instead of separating, again, he is also an investor, you know. He is also, and that's I think the problems, because when you are leading a company that is influencing people to actually go into the market or buy or purchase or become part of the community, you know, I mean, it's hard to separate the fact that, you know, I mean, someone is a personal you know, I have a personal life. I can do whatever I want. I can invest, and but because it's on the blockchain and it's open, and, you know, everybody see. I never heard him lie, not even one time, or try to manipulate. So that's my perception. So anyway, I really feel that him as a leader, as a super young, energetic man that love women, that allow that definitely, yeah, it's a very masculine, I would say, Web3 company, like most of them, but there is the love and there is the room for women to join and to be part of on each and every one on different levels. So it's not just one size fit all. And then the evolution around the people that where he was connected with slowly, but in the beginning it was him that I'm like, okay, but wait, of course. And I always felt that the media is shitty. I was involved in the media. I was on the national level, sitting on the board, serving as the media chair locally, and again in Washington DC. And I see the media, I hear the media. I don't watch the news, for example. Never watch the news. I read the healthcare news for very reliable sources, but I don't watch the news. So I felt that the need, so it was so natural for me to start being involved in the ecosystem of Rag Radio. And then I met Mando and OSF and so many artists and Mel and the console team and the involvement of the team. So I think that, again, I mean, you have a lot of choices in life, but I feel that, and again, it's not about you here to stay, because, you know, Rag Radio can be sold tomorrow. You know, I mean, nobody can actually promise anything to anyone, you know. I mean, we don't know what's going to be happening in a second. You know, I mean, it's funny because, you know, if we have this weather right now in LA, it's crazy. It's crazy. We have flooding. There's floods here all over, you know. I mean, when we last year, we have 2 days of rain. So we don't know. We have to stay open. I think that 2023 will be about decentralization of the, no, but it will be the decentralization of communities and the evolution of the people, but it's all going to be led by the artists. So on top of it all, artists going to be giving the, you know, the driver's seat and will be involved in every project and in every, because I do believe that we can actually, it's more economically making sense to collect art digitally. I think it's better. You see this painting behind me right now.
It's beautiful.
But if I will sit and it's going to be a screen and it's going to be all my collection and my friends and supporting artists and messages that been communicating, and I feel that the healthcare industry will be able to transform through a digital art. So it's going to be, again, it's going to, it's the mechanism and the technology behind it. It's so fascinating that you can get rewarded for getting healthier or taking steps to towards what's your health goal is. And healthcare also needs to be very personalized. It's not like one size fits all. Even if you have a heart attack, it's not the same. It's not the same. Why some people survive open heart surgery and some people do not. I think that we will be able to reward people and promote people and to increase the voice of the people that are genuinely here to serve other people. So I also think that it's all about giving back, how we are going to give back. What are we going to do to give back in order to, you know, enhance and the life of not our own families, but other people and communities, and access unfortunate communities, and allow people from Africa to I don't know, to India. When I walk in India, I'm like, I feel like I'm enlightened, but also my heart is broken.
It's a sad state of affairs. A lot of things. Yeah.
So so yeah, so I feel that that's it's the future, which is now. It's the present moment, and I really committed to live in the present moment. I think, and again, it's so hard sometimes because your mind goes like, oh, and you attach. We attach to what's going to happen, but it's even now with the economy and all that, and that's why we need to make sure we are building another level of economy. I'm not saying fiat rupees. I'm not saying it's not a good source of currency, but I'm saying let's create something that will come on top of it, or another be working simultaneously, and just allow. And I believe in intention and attention. Intention energize, and attention transform. And I believe in transformation. And so we are in the age of transformation right now. And it's the age of the Aquarius. Come on.
Yeah, true. Also, Naama, while you have answered quite a lot of my questions without me asking you, there is a question that I have, which is, being an artist yourself, a lot of artists from the traditional space, or traditional artists, aren't really in favor of NFTs. So, I mean, where do you stand, being an artist yourself and being a Web3 enthusiast?
So the physical art will never gonna exchange the digital, and the digital will never exchange the physical. Meaning, I see it again as what. And I really feel that we need to work on united, as I said in the beginning, of all aspects of life. So if it's politics, again, especially if it's politics. And by the way, we're going to use NFT and we're not going to call it NFT, but it's going to be definitely. Also, by the way, the voting that now evolved during in the DAO, when the communities, when I feel like I can vote on matters that actually matter to me, and on the future of the community, and decide on, make decision that not always going to be in my the way I see it, but definitely. So I think that the voting system will be it's super important, and I sometimes listen to people that for me, if you're not voting, you're not existing. So I always vote. Every elections, even if it's a municipality or the federal. I mean, I'm voting, but a lot of people never vote. And the DAOs allow them to vote. So I think the uniting the fact that yes, it's not canceling the physical art. Absolutely, I will always want to see physical art. I will always want to own. I'm not sure how much I want to own more and more physical art, because I think it's I actually trying to minimize minimize my consumptions and my the stuff I have at home or whatever. I mean, I'm trying to downsize if anything, and minimize whatever I can, to just because I mean in my opinion right now, more is less. So I'm definitely. And less is more. So I'm just really on this mantra, but I really feel that again, if we are not going to be extreme, if we are going to successfully share the fact that yes, we are securing it, we are building the trust, we are knowing that this can make a difference for a lot of people in the world that are unfortunate. I think that the digital and the physical will be merging together. So you walk into a museum, you walk into a gallery, okay? Yes, traditional physical art is still a thing, I mean, it's like still a thing. There is a wall. Yes, there is will never get replaced. Absolutely. Pretty, yes, and that's and the artist needs to understand that it's not either or. It's merging it. Right. Not only that, I still, whatever I did so far, I did a physical artwork, and made it digitally, you know, I mean, and move it into the digital. In my, I'm not sure I'm going to continue doing that. I might go digitally only, but I think that it's the digital can represent a high volume of vocal, and that's why I feel like the centralization of the media, which will allow us to come together and join in so many opportunities for we will be very powerful in we are already powerful, but it's going to be super powerful in the world of the new way of building and using the blockchain technology.
Absolutely. We're almost running short on time, but do you have any closing thoughts before we end this episode, Naama?
Yes, my main closing thought is that I miss India. It's been since the 2020 that I was in India, and my last closing thought is, if I will have a crystal ball, and I can really also wish for people to really become more to the middle and know that we all the same. The fact that we look different, we dress differently, we think differently, of course, but we're all the same, and that we have the opportunity and the ability to change and to just stay open. Doesn't mean that you have to jump on the wheel, and on the wagon and just do it. And just stay open, because we are all going to use the blockchain platform, to all kinds of already, platform that we are using. But if we will stay positive and open to receive and bring the spirit, bring the love and the spirit. And again, in business, we are missing this in business, and it's all very formal and very like, you have to do this, you have to do this, I mean, not always it needs to be one way or one size fit all. And I think that together we can collaborate and understand that decentralization can really give back and increase the love. And because it's all about the love. I'm sorry. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but it's all about the love. Because if it's not coming from love, or if there is no love involved within the ecosystem, it's not going to. And then let the IT, the cloud, all the expert in technology to lead it in a way that we can trust them. So we slowly, step by step, baby steps will build. We are building the trust and
to create
willingness to elevate women, and speak about the wealth, because I think that the key situation for the blockchain right now is the wealth. And what I see right now is we're going back to, I don't know, Stone Age, I mean, it's like almost like we didn't do all this way, and it's like, oh, who are the holders of all, or who are the people who run tech, I mean, I sometimes I live meditation in the tech industry, and it's like, I'm sitting in a room full of 80% men. So the masculine energy.
Always like that.
So if I can have a wish in this new year, is just that the masculine energy will accept us with love, will see us as equals, and or some equality on different level. I'm not a feminist, so I mean, it's just we need to have equality on different level and agreement, and write this smart contract, which I think also that's what the blockchain is creating, is a super smart contract that are very clear, to the point, and cutting us, we cutting us with so much anxiety, and I mean, and I'm not going to go into getting divorced and all that, and reconciliation of marriage, but I mean, we all suffer. It's generation of suffering, of families that are torn apart, and absence of fathers, and the male masculine energy, and super, so in every single family,
Everywhere, absolutely, all across the globe.
Yeah.
Yes. Great. This was a really beautiful episode, Naama. It was filled with a lot of love, light, and optimism. And I wish that we could continue talking about it, because it's so great to hear you talk and spread your positivity to the world. And I hope a lot of people that see our episode are able to understand the depth of the issues that we spoke about, and not just on a superficial level, but on a very deep level. I think that these are the things that matter: inclusivity, and communities coming together, and communities supporting each other. And most importantly, I too am not a feminist, but I am an equalist, and I feel only when we will be equal as a community to men and all the other communities out there, not just men, feel the LGBTQ plus communities are also at the receiving end, and so are women. So I feel that if communities can support each other, not just in the Web3 space, but just generally in their lives, that'll be a great world to live in. And on that note, I would love to close this episode. Really beautiful episode with Naama Pozniak. And yes, welcoming you to India really soon. Hope to see you in person and record another super amazing episode with you. This was a great chat, though, and would love to have you another time on our podcast. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.